As NATO's leaders gather in Washington, elections in Europe brought a wave of relief. The far-right National Rally, hostile to both NATO and Ukraine, placed third instead of first. And British voters elected a government that pledged to step up support for Ukraine.
Mr. Prime Minister, congratulations. What a hell of a victory. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. President.
New PM Keir Starmer will travel to Washington, where he'll meet President Biden and Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky. And Starmer sent his new defense minister to Ukraine. But the biggest threat to NATO is the looming election here in the United States.
This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO. Are you going to stay in NATO?
Donald Trump didn't answer that question, but he has talked a lot about how much NATO members spend.
You got to ask these people to put up the money.
Until recently, most NATO countries fell short of NATO's threshold spending on defense, but that's been changing quickly.
Allies are spending more. 23 allies, a record number, now invest at least 2% of GDP in defense.
And that leaves Canada as one of only 9 countries that fail to meet the threshold. U.S. senators recently wrote to Justin Trudeau to say they were profoundly disappointed that Canada still lacked a plan to hit 2%. But Canada's ambassador to Washington says the negative attention should be focused on members like Hungary's Viktor Orban.
There are allies in NATO who are meeting 2% who do not support standing up for Ukraine and Russia. I think that's a point that deserves emphasis.
The pressure isn't only coming from Washington, but also from allies in Europe. Today, Defense Minister Bill Blair said that more spending announcements are in the works that he says will get Canada over that 2% threshold. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Washington.